if I could go back to like hearing my parents' conversations like this and being like, they were a confused shit show too. I wanted to ask my parents why they were feeling the way they were feeling or what they were feeling when they were having kids, because I wanted some guidance from people I trust. The kid comes into your life and it's okay. So now we're driven to do different things or act a different way or make different decisions. But that's because we've integrated this incredible miracle into our lives.
Life is going to look very different, but not in a negative way. You change. After you have kids, I feel like you start to change a lot.
People are having babies later because we're trying to like live all our life before we have a kid, because the story that's been told to us is once you have a kid, your life's no longer yours. And I've been having a very hard time with this conversation.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be true, so it won't be true. I'm sure I'm already getting haters screaming at the audio going like, you have no idea, just wait.
Oh, you just wait.
You just wait is the line. It's going to be hard. But I know that what lives on the other side of us navigating this is magic. I really don't want to be that guy who said, I wish we started earlier. Honey, I love you so much.
I love you more.
Hey, I'm Nick.
And I'm Bia.
We don't have all the answers, but we're definitely in it. And if you're ready to lead your family by being more of yourself, not less, then you're in the right place.
We are so grateful to be in this with you.
This is DadEasy. Let's get into it. All right. Question of the day. You ready?
Yep.
My question is it important for our kids that we document our parenting journey?
Is it important to our kids that we documented the journey? Well, I'm trying to think if I was in the kid's position, like I'm thinking if I would have liked if my parents had recorded their journey. And I think yes, the answer is yes.
Why?
Because the people that they are today is very different than the people that they were at the moment that they were having kids. And I think I would love to see what they were going through and to get to know them at that time.
Why?
Just because they were different. Because after you have kids, I feel like you start to change a lot. You start to change as a person. You start to get into this whole new identity. And I don't want it to sound like a sad thing, because it's not a sad thing. But that person that you were, it's kind of like a death process. Like it doesn't exist anymore. There is, of course, parts of that person, the essence of that person, and lots of things about that person. But you change. I mean, that's what I hear the most. I still didn't have a baby, but...
You look delicious today.
Thank you.
I love when you wear your creamy colors. You look delicious. I think, the more I think about our current society and how people are having babies later. People are having babies later, generally, because we're trying to like live all our life before we have a kid. Because the story that's been told to us is once you have a kid, your life's no longer yours. And I've been having a very hard time with this conversation.
Yeah, I heard that a lot.
I'm just like pissed by it because I don't want that to be true. So it won't be true. But everybody who's a parent.
Well, it can be true, but it doesn't need to be a negative thing. Yes, life is going to look very different, but not in a negative way.
Totally. And I think that one of the things that is very common is that people are trying to put on, like, what happens is people have a kid and then they blame their not taking action, or they blame their not being able to figure out how to sleep right, or they blame their whatever. And it's a blame thing. And I'm sure I'm already getting haters screaming at the audio going like, you have no idea, just wait.
Oh, you just wait.
You just wait is the line. But if I think about just like mindset 101, the way you choose to see things or interpret things is the way things show up in your life. Bottom line is what you believe, you'll find proof for.
Yep.
So I want to consistently believe. I was just talking with a dude the other day, having these conversations over text. And he was saying, I'm on my third and I have had the best sleep of my life since I had a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the freest. I feel the most disciplined. Like he had just this totally different perspective from most people I've heard. So I think to bring it back to our question, one of the things I find really interesting is that the way I wanted to ask my parents why they were feeling the way they were feeling or what they were feeling when they were having kids, which happened a lot earlier. Not a lot earlier. I think my mom was 26 when she had her first kid, right? Is that what she said?
Yep.
26, 28 maybe?
28, I think.
And we're 32. So like it's a little later. But just thinking about where was your head at? Because I wanted some guidance from people I trust. I'm lucky to say that I trust my parents and I love my parents and they were a great example. So I want to look at them and say, what were you thinking at that time? And interestingly enough, I feel like they kind of say what they're like, oh, you never know, or you just
You don't
trust
even
yourself.
remember, I think.
They don't remember.
Yeah.
So I think the documenting process is huge because if I could go back to like hearing my parents' conversations like this and being like, they were a confused shit show too. They thought this and they thought that.
Or they were so cool.
Or they were so cool or charming and my mom was so hot. Yeah. You are delicious.
Let's hope that they think that.
Yeah. I think that would be supportive and interesting, number one, and just kind of give me that confidence of like, okay, they did a great job and they also didn't know. Or maybe they did a shitty job and they didn't know. And that helps me understand maybe I should wait a little bit, or maybe I should do this now because whatever. There's almost a responsibility in my eyes as someone who's older than my kid, right? So like I think every person who's alive right now has a responsibility. This is a bold statement, a responsibility to kind of be a guide in some capacity to like, we have more information than the person who's being born today, right? And I think there's a responsibility for us to pass down whatever our experience is so that they then take all of the previous experience before that plus ours and make a new decision or make the same decision based off of that information. And if we document it, we have the capacity then to use the information. I think that's really important.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious, like, I feel this way, you feel this way, but I'm wondering if like everybody feels this way. Like I would love to listen to what my parents were going through and seeing how they were thinking at the time that they were having me and my siblings and things like that. I don't know. It's just like a curious question.
Well, I think we're lucky to say we have parents that we want to talk to and that we look up to and that we respect. And I don't think a lot of people have that.
But even people who didn't grow up with their parents or they had a difficult relationship and like, even if they don't have, like, I would be interested in thinking like what they were going through.
What were my parents thinking since my mom, left me in an orphanage or since my dad, whatever the story is. I bet there's a desire there to want to know. What were they thinking when they had me? Were they thinking? Was it even a conscious choice? Was I an accident in some capacity? Like that.
I mean, I remember asking my mom many times. I mean, I grew up in a way that my mom was always telling me, not always, but many times she told me I was an accident, that I was not planned. And this actually created a lot of things that I healed later on, stories that I made up about her saying that I was not planned, that I was not, something that she wanted at that time. And as a kid, you make up stories about that. And I think at my age now, if I was able to listen to everything that she was going through, I mean, it would give me so much more compassion and understanding of what she was going through. I don't know. It's just, I would love that.
Darling, if you are what an accident is, my life just became way more fun and easier because if this is what accidents look like, I'm ready to mess up all day long. I'm ready to mess up.
Okay.
I want to wreak some havoc.
All right, let's stop it.
I think yes, the understanding of what my parents were going through creates a sense of compassion. And then in turn, I mean, compassion opens the doors to a lot of things. I already am having compassion for my parents in ways that I didn't before just at the information that we're having a baby.
Yeah, it's so crazy how I start like now being pregnant and noticing what I'm navigating. I always think about like, oh my God, my mom had to go through this while she was pregnant of me. Like something that I never thought about it.
I thought about it, to be quite honest. I just never felt what I'm feeling right now. Like a lot of what's happening lately is terror at times. Terror is a strong word. I definitely felt. I mean, last night was one of them. Like I was having a panic attack. And I wouldn't say panic attack because it wasn't that bad. And I've had a couple in the last 2 years that were like, whoa, you know? But last night I was having these ruminating thoughts that were creating like gloom and doom thoughts that were turning into terror. It was very scary. And that was a byproduct of thinking about how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? When I'm calm and my nervous system is regulated and I'm chill, which is why I kept saying to you, like, just come, you know, like Bia is the queen of cuddlers and she has a way of just like using her nervous system. I mean, I think it's a gift of hers, but maybe it's a womanly thing too, but she just has a capacity to like calm me down and settle my nervous system when I feel like I can't do it myself. So I kept saying to her, like, come closer, come closer. And that was helping me navigate that a little bit. But I do realize, you know, I think that when the thought of the child starts to take over, what am I going to do about money? How am I going to make sure this kid is taken care of? Where are we going to live? What are we going to, there's so much up in the air. Wow. It's brutal. It's intense.
Yeah.
And when my nervous system is calm, what I know is it's all working perfectly. It's all in flow. Everything's happening for a reason.
Yeah. And if you think this is not only for when you're having a child, I think this happens in different levels and intensity in different moments of life. Like when I decided to quit my job, quit everything in Brazil and go to Malaysia, I had moments of like, holy shit, like what the heck am I doing? Like, am I doing the right thing? It's the same thing, different, but same.
Yeah. It's the power of perspective in a lot of ways. Like even just the conversation with Jill, my sister, we were just having on the phone. And she was going through something that I am so familiar with. I'm so having the same experience right now. It's driving me freaking crazy hearing her talk about it because I'm like, dude, just do this. And she just needed like one boost, one conversation, one bit of help. Like I said, let me help you for this one day. We'll get this thing out of the way. You'll feel better. That's perspective. Because I, in that moment, am somebody observing her. I'm observing the situation. I'm not the situation. She is collapsed in her story. When I'm sitting there, even though I'm dealing with the same exact thing, I could see her clearly and say, let's handle this. I can handle this way.
So I have a question. Do you think it's important to always have a part out of you, like someone else to...
Like a human mirror.
Yeah, like someone to get you in a different perspective?
Always is a strong word.
Okay.
I think that there are certain people who are excellent at holding space like that. I think that that's rare nowadays. We don't have patience. We don't give ourselves time and space to listen and to hear people out. So more times than not, it feels like it's not productive. It actually feels like it's kind of screwing me.
To have another person?
Yeah, like because they start throwing their own interpretations on me rather than just being an observer, right? And I think when somebody observes and gives you a new perspective, that's supportive and can kind of guide you through that perspective. Whereas when somebody says, it's this or it's that, and they're just throwing their own life views or experiences on you, it doesn't actually give you, I don't know, for me, it becomes more harmful than actually just figuring it out on my own. So I don't know is the answer, but definitely it's hugely supportive when somebody who can hold that space comes by and is like, saves the freaking day.
Yeah.
Changes the game for me.
Yeah. I do feel like it's important to have another person. It doesn't need to be a coach. Doesn't need to be like someone that you hire. Could be someone that it's close to you that can hold kind of like this neutral space. Of course, if it's someone that knows you, it's more challenging.
Yeah. Do I do that for you?
Sometimes I feel like you have some bias, you have some not judgment,
Whatever are you talking about?
you have some perspectives that even when you were like saying that you were like, no, I'm not, and like, oh, you do, I can feel it. Like, yeah, you're my husband. And I think you do a great job many times to hold like this neutral space for me. But there are moments that I need to talk about things that it's about us that I'm not, you're not going to be neutral.
Well, that's true. And also sometimes, like probably more often than not, I can't be neutral. I'm too caught up in the story.
Yeah.
Like about anything, even if it's not about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that people forget that. Now, I do think that one of the really powerful, I think there's a Brene Brown thing.
Mm-hmm.
The like, do you need space? Do you need solutions? I just wish we could get rid of all the dogs in town. Just send them
I
somewhere.
don't think they can hear.
I can. They never shut up. Guys.
Okay. Oh, you're going to get a lot of haters because of you. Because I love dogs. I love animals.
Dogs are
love
nice
dogs.
as long as they had a muzzle that kept their mouth
Okay, enough.
closed.
Keep going. One of the first things that one of our first arguments, and that I really, really had a moment to ask myself, it's like, is this guy for me? Was when I first heard him talking about dogs.
We're just
I
trying
was
to sit
like,
here and mind our business,
wait
but
a
everybody
second.
can't control their dogs.
This guy who is the kindest, loving, caring guy, when he starts to talk about dogs, he becomes in this like little monster.
They drive me crazy. I mean, I love dogs when I'm like, oh, you're so cute playing with them. If they could just be quiet, like maybe I'm not going to be a good dad, actually. That's what I'm learning. Because kids don't get quiet. I knew somebody on the other side of this was screaming, you just wait till you have kids. Nah. See, dogs don't grow up to change the world. Dogs don't grow up to raise families. No, they don't.
No, they can change the world. Yeah.
Dogs,
they support people that can change the world.
Unsubscribe is what just happened. Half of anybody who was ever listening is like, screw
I hope
this guy.
they know that I love dogs and I think they are the
subscribe
best
for
thing.
Bia. I'm not against dogs. I'm really not. I just don't want one. And I want people's dogs to be quiet.
We will have a dog.
I just want people's dog to be quiet. What were we
Can't
talking about
Can't
before?
wait for a post of us with our new dog.
Not happening. What
happening?
What was the thing we were talking about before?
2 ADD.
Yeah, let's talk about ADD for a minute. So yeah, I think when I look at the desire to understand where my parents were at, I don't know if that's where we were at. Maybe we shifted from that, but I do ultimately think that that's a really important thing that I want my kids to know where I was at, so that they can better understand the choices that they're making and where they came from. Like they came from thought. Mm-hmm. That's an interesting concept. Like this kid started as a thought.
Mm-hmm.
And now this thought has become reality. Like we thought, oh my God, let's have a kid one day. Well, that's a good question.
Which is so interesting because before you, I never had this, which a lot of my friends had, this like dream and desire to become a mom, to have a family. And they like kind of grow up with that. I never had that before I met you. I was like, yeah, maybe we'll have a family. Maybe.
So what made you want to get pregnant?
What made me wanting to get pregnant? Well, after I met you, I definitely felt the desire to build a family with you. That's one of the things. I think you have always been vocal about wanting to have kids since we met.
I was vocal about the practice of making children.
You're still very vocal about that, as you can see. And you always threw me off.
I'm still 6 years old.
Yes.
Most of the time. It's really ridiculous.
It is.
Come on, you gotta have some fun. I'm funny. Yeah. I'm funny. I think that's what people need to know. I'm funny.
Yeah. Anyways, I felt like I had a shift and a change after I met you. A desire to have a family. And it was definitely not something like soon. It was definitely something that was in the plan one day, but I didn't have a timeline for that. And then I feel like when I hit, which is crazy because I always heard people saying that, and I'm like, yeah, right. But I feel like when I turned 30 was when I started to be more open to it. And which it was 2 years ago, I think was the moment where I started to be like, I think we can do that. Maybe in the next like 3-4 years.
No, man, it was Colombia. It was something in the water in Colombia.
Yeah, May of 2023.
Yeah, you went on a
2 years
trip.
ago.
She went on a trip to Colombia alone. She comes back and she's like, "Make me a baby." I was like, "Woman?"
Wait. I was in a personal development conference. Give some context here, please. And I started to have a conversation about that, about having kids. And I sat with this man that I met there. Just kidding.
I knew it.
He was 65 years old.
Oh, really, really working it now. She wanted some wisdom.
We were having a conversation about kids. And he was telling like how when we are during this age, we are always saying, because I was telling him, yeah, maybe 4 years from now, maybe 5 years from now, like not now. I want to. And he was like, if I could go back in time, I would have had earlier, which is something that I heard people saying all the time. Like after they had kids, they say like, I wish I had started earlier. Like I wish I had more time with them. And just having this conversation with him, like something in me felt like, what am I waiting for? Why I keep postponing and like, as like this dream or this thing, and having kids have never been part of like, oh, it's my dream to be a mom, as I said. But I start thinking like, actually, like I feel like my body is ready for that. I feel like whatever is the challenge that we are going through, we can do it. So that's kind of what. But again, when we start having a conversation, I didn't say let's have it now. I started to ask you about it and have a conversation about it. And I was joking about like, okay, let's do a baby now. You interpret it in a way.
You didn't seem like you was joking. I'm just saying. You were very forward about that joke.
Well, I was not saying for that time.
That it's an interesting perspective shift. One is like focused on what I need to get done before I have a kid, because this context of my life is going to be so different. It's over. It's blah. Once I have a kid, my life is no longer mine. I think a lot of people come from that context, and I get it. And I think I've probably come from that quite a bit when I was thinking about timing with it. As a dude, I'm like, why not wait till 40, 45? It's a lot harder for a woman to have that conversation at 40. But what's interesting is I think most people say what this dude said, which is, man, I wish I started earlier. And my mom says it all the time too, is just like the joy and the elevation of life that happens when you have a kid. The things that you think are going to get in the way become the things you really live for. And I think that has started to shift my perspective. And already I'm like, damn, maybe we should have did this like a year ago or 2 years ago. Also because I want like 4 kids. But I think that's a really important part of this, is realizing that this doesn't need to be something where like it ruins everything or it takes away what you're doing. It's a guide. Like the kid comes into your life and it's okay. So now we're driven to do different things or act a different way or make different decisions. But that's because we've integrated this incredible miracle into our lives. I also just want to mention that I'm not forgetting that this is just a miracle that we can say we want a kid and then 10 days later you're pregnant.
Yeah. I mean, we were very lucky in this aspect that we decided to just stop avoiding it right after we got pregnant, but definitely not what happened to a lot of people.
It's so crazy. And I know we've talked about it before, but this era of how hard it is to get pregnant for people now. Like, was it always this way? I can't imagine.
If you look at the numbers in terms of infertility and how the numbers have been growing in the past years.
It's
It's just crazy.
terrifying.
It's crazy.
I was reading
Especially
something
in the US.
and I don't know if I was watching this on Instagram or reading it. This was a year ago. This was before we got pregnant. This was
Yeah.
like the numbers were really scary about the rates within, I don't know, 60 years or something. The population is going to be at such an intense decline because women are not going to be able to get pregnant. And what does that do to? I'm sure there's a billion things. Probably America, our food system, biggest, and our lack of clean water and healthy water, which just like, why do we have to say healthy water? So absurd. Gets me so frustrated. But nonetheless, then there's like the stress and the dopamine levels, which what that's doing to brains nowadays, and anxiety boosted at an all-time high because of our system being one where we're constantly overloaded with pleasure, and which it's like in a time where we're all struggling more than ever mentally. We're overloaded with pleasure, but we're struggling the most. There's a lot of symbolism there. And understanding how the brain works, and I'm no neuroscientist, I've just listened to a lot of neuroscientists talk about the dopamine era and what's happening, where we're constantly getting stimulation. And what does that do? It makes your brain is always going to find homeostasis. It's the job of the brain. It's what it's built to do. So as we elevate the amount of dopamine we get, we then are hyper, neutralizing. So the brain has to compensate by pouring a lot of pain on this spectrum of pain and pleasure being super high dopamine, pain being no dopamine. It then has to balance things out. What does it do? It tips the scale super hard the other way. So then we go into panic attacks or worry or anxiety or stress or depression or whatever we're calling it, when it's really just the brain trying to neutralize. And what do? We then go jack up on the thing that dopamined us to make us feel better. And now we're in this like crazy freaking seesaw, other than just allowing ourselves, the other way is just allow ourselves to be like neutral and to just feel okay and not hunt for a high. But we can't, because devices and because constantly scrolling, the thing we used to have to do, the amount of work we have to do in the past to be able to get any bit of dopamine is now like what we get from 2 minutes on Instagram. Like, it's so accessible. We have to use to exercise or move our body for a half hour to feel what we feel in 3 minutes of scrolling. That's crazy. So the pleasure thing is so kicked up that we don't know how to neutralize anymore. All this to say, like, the brain chemistry for a lot of women and people are just not allowing them to be like in a healthy neutral state. What does that do to the body? God only knows. I have no idea all the impact that has on our central nervous system, which has impact on everything in our system, hormones and all the things that are necessary to make the miracle of birth happen. And now women can't get pregnant.
Yeah, and I don't even think that we were thinking about that 2 years ago.
Totally.
I think 2 years ago was when we start talking about having kids, and starting the conversation about it's not just like, oh, let's have a baby. I think for us, it was about like money and where are we going to raise? Is it going to be in Brazil? Is it going to be in the US? Like, it just opened up like this huge box of so many questions and so many things that we kind of never really talked about it, because, it's just only when you are considering to have kids that you kind of like talk about this stuff. So I think in my head 2 years ago was like kind of a moment for us to start talking about that, which for you, when we kind of like started the conversation again a year later, which was a year ago, you were like, yeah, we never talked about that. And I'm like, yes, we did.
Okay, hold on. Well, let's talk about the balancing act first, because I wonder if this is a thing for everybody else. There's a balance that happens of this, like, one partner, me, says, I want to have kids. Like, I want to build a family. Let's do this thing. Like, I'm excited about it. And the other one's like, no, oh my God, I'm so scared. I can't do that. And because I think I was like, well, she's not advocating for that. If I don't advocate for it, it doesn't happen. So let me advocate. Let me push that.
Oh yeah, that happened too.
And then you come back from this magic 65-year-old delicious man in Colombia. And then boom, she's like, oh my God, we need to have kids like yesterday. And I'm like, what? So then the scale tips big time. And I was like, whoa. Because I was nervous that it's like the friend who has the psychotic break. They're like talking at 1,000,000 miles an hour and like, we should do this, we should do. I was like,
Oh, okay. You're exaggerating right now.
yeah, definitely exaggerating. But there was a huge shift overnight, is what I'm saying. Like, you left for Colombia, that wasn't even on the table.
Well, it was around 4 days, but yeah.
And then you came back from Colombia and you were like, let's have a baby.
Sure.
Yes, it was day and night. So I think it's fair as your partner to be like, wait, hold on. Let me pump the brakes and talk to me about why you were just like, it's just the time. And honestly, great. Like, you're a woman and you just have intuition and you felt like it was time. Awesome. But at the same time, I'm like, wait, like, can we get a little logistical here? Like, what made you feel ready?
That was very frustrating because it's kind of like, for like years in our relationship, you were always the one like, yes, let's have a baby. I would say like, yeah, 5, 6 years from now. And you were like, no, you're crazy. 2 years from now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, 2 years, you're crazy. So like, then I spent 2 years kind of reflecting, you know, thinking about it internally and experiencing. And then 2 years go by and I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. And you're like, no, I don't want to have kids, like 2 more years, 3 more years. So it's like,
yeah, that's how I talk. Yeah, that's true. That sounds exactly like how I would say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what I said, guys. I said no.
So it was very frustrating.
I get it.
And that created like
it's this thing. And again, I wonder if that's a normal thing where like somebody's the spearheader and then the other person jumps on board. My thought is, of course, then
you
they're
got
both
scared.
Well, both are ready to go then. Okay. So this guy was ready to go and then you jumped on board and it's like, yay, let's go. That's what I thought would happen. But then I was like, whoa. You really want to have a baby? And that freaked me out a little bit, if I'm being honest. I remember that. And that was scary. And then I started to feel like.
When was the moment that you felt like you were open to it?
I think once we started to talk it out. I needed to know that the reason you weren't doing that or ready for that was because you felt like you had to because I wanted to. Or B, because you felt like you had to for any reason because some delicious 65-year-old man in Colombia told you to. Or whatever reason. Like, I wanted to know what you were thinking and what you were feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Because as your partner, someone who's advocating for you before I'm advocating for a family, that's not a decision we can go back on. So if you're just like on a high that week, which you've had those before, where you're like, I want to do something. And then a week later, you tried to start a business and then got over it and moved on, right? Whatever, like some type of version like that. This is not something you can just cancel out. Once we say yes and it happens, holy shit, that's a life-changing trajectory thing. So as somebody who loves and cares about you, I wanted to make sure that you were confidently making that decision. So I wanted to really talk it out and not you just be like, no, it's just an intuitive thing. I feel it. And then go. I wanted to know, I wanted to be enrolled, not convinced.
You were also scared.
Hold on. Separate part. I will answer that too. But the first part is I love you enough to care to ask you those questions because you're the one carrying a kid for 9 months. Mm-hmm. You're the one who has to have your nips sucked on for a year. Like your body is never going to be the same. Mm-hmm. Not me. Mm-hmm. It's my life's not going to be the same, but I get to skip out on a lot of that shit that you have to go through. So as somebody who loves you as much as I do, the thought of you getting 2 months in and going like, you know, like, we didn't really talk about this. You pressured me into this. I wanted to make sure that you knew that you never had to make that decision for me. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to get super clear on what's going on for you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So that's why I was like, hold on, pump the brakes. Not because I was scared, because I was scared that you were trying to do something that was just like a what's the word? Like impulsive, that's the word, impulsive decision. And I didn't want an impulsive decision to be the biggest decision of our lives other than choosing to get married. So I think that was my commitment. And then the scared part was like, can I provide? And I think a lot of dads or potential dads come up to this. Will I provide? I always think I can. And I've said to you from day one, like whatever you need, I'm going to be able to provide for you. And when we're really confronted with that truth, I don't know, like a different side of me was there that I had to see. And yeah, it was definitely scary. It was definitely scary. And knowing, like, then you said before we opened up boxes, like boxes that were never opened before got opened. Things that being single, like a single unit, so being us, just us, we would just be able to make anything happen. Like we could go here, we could fly there, we could do this, we could do that. It's not about us anymore, like just us. And it started to open the door of like, where are we settling down? Because a kid, you know, if a kid's going to school, I don't want to be pulling them out of school like because we want to go on a trip for 6 months. We're not near any family. What does that look like? Is the kid going to get the care they need? If I love you enough to ask the question, well, this kid's here, but you also have a business and a dream and a vision for your life. How do I support you in making sure that gets managed and taken care of? Because you want to keep doing that. Do you want to keep doing that? Like it opened up a ton. And then my biggest fear was the loss of our relationship.
Yeah, that's definitely. I feel like it took this year and a half of you really like reflecting on all of this.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Maybe that isn't a long time, but it's definitely something that I would encourage men to think about if they're with somebody that they're considering having a partner, having a baby with, is like all those questions come up. But yeah, that one, like you are my best fucking friend in the entire world, times a million. Love you, Fabio. Love you, Scott. Love you, Casey. Love you, like love you guys. Love you, Andrew. Love you, Chris, Eric. Love you guys. Love you guys.
Yeah, so let's pull out the
Gunther's
list of best friends.
Gunther, I got you, bro. Like I love, and my brother, obviously, Aaron. You know, Aramis.
Okay.
I think I got everybody. I love them, and I love you at a level that I've never loved anybody before, and it's obviously different. But truthfully, I love all you guys. Couldn't spend this much time with you if you paid me $1 million a week. Like I could not spend this much time with anybody. There's something about just the humanness of it all, where we're like the tightest, coolest homies. Now, you throw in a stressor into that, which we've had plenty, right? Travel is a stressor. Money is a stressor at times. Family, definitely a stressor at times. Whatever, but like literally anything gets thrown in, and it complicates the friendship. It complicates the partnership. I know that this is one of the bigger challenges that get thrown into a relationship. The thought of that kid now becoming priority over me in our relationship, a lot of like my little child came out. Like, fuck. Mom. There's this video of me and like, how old was I? 8?
No, not even that. You were probably 5 or 6. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's an old school camera video with my mom taping and just like me running around going like, mom, just trying to get attention. Here we are on a podcast. Nothing changes. But yes, the point being, I was scared of our relationship dwindling. And I think you had a fear of that too.
But when did you feel like it shift? Like what happened?
I'm still terrified of it. But I also am making a decision that fear is not the driving force. And this is something I wanted to say before too. Like when fear becomes the driving force of having a kid, this is what I was talking about when you came home from Colombia. Are you doing this out of fear? Scared that you're getting too old? Scared that, you know, you're going to lose your husband because he wants to have a family and you don't? Scared that, like, if it's a fear-based decision, I do not want to have a kid for fear-based decisions. I want to have a kid because I want to have a kid, because it's an exciting venture, because I want to bring life into this world, because I want to procreate, because I want to have sexy time with you, because I want to learn more things about life and about myself. And a kid does that. Like there's so much joy that comes. Those are the reasons why I want to have a kid. And the fear-based thing is one that I'm very conscious of. And I think I'm working on shifting out of the fear-based energy of like, I'm scared to not have this best friend. And what if it's a new perspective that this is going to bring us closer than we've ever been? Like we've been through, also every time we've been through a challenge, it got harder first and made us better on the other side.
For sure.
It's always going to get harder first. And then on the other side of that, I know something magical is happening. So just suck it the hell up. And like, it's going to be hard. But I know that what lives on the other side of us navigating this is magic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what excites me. And now, like, I've been working on shifting that. And that's been really supportive. And I really don't want to be that guy who said, I wish we started earlier. Like, I don't want to do that. And I know that timelines are a real thing. And us being, 32, like, if we're doing 4 kids, it's like, we got to let this shit rip.
He's with the 4 kids again.
I'm just saying,
God.
it's the bomb.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm not saying we have to do 4 kids, but
It's going to be fun,
that,
like years from now, knowing like how many kids we have listening to this episode and saying like, he was asking for 4, but we only had, or we had
12.
Jesus Christ.
They came swimming out by the end. Just running out like, hey, Mom, I'm here.
No, my guess is going to be max 3, but let's see.
So speaking about our relationship, how do you think this has changed since we found out we're pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
Has it changed? Has our relationship dynamic changed at all? For better, for worse? How so? If so?
I do feel like I don't think that there is any part of our relationship that got worse. I think everything in our relationship got better. I think you got not more loving, more caring, but you definitely had more drive and more excitement and more motivation to pursue the things that you wanted, which for me was awesome to watch after going through the journey that you went through 2-3 years prior to being pregnant. So I think that created more like good energy around our relationship, which is great. I think you also became more compassionate and more understanding into my process because I had a very tough first trimester, getting very nauseous, very tired. And I think this happens to a lot of women. And I think for us women, when we go through that, there's so much judgment that happens in our head of like, I literally can only lay in the couch and watch TV. And
I mean, you were like all day.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, a lot of couch time. Still during this pregnant, a lot of couch time and tired and wanting to nap and wanting to like super unmotivated to do other things. And it just feels like so like little things like going to meet people drains so much out of me. And I think internally we have this judgment like, what is he thinking about it? Is he going to judge me? Is he thinking that I'm being lazy? Is like all of that. And I think you, when in the past, if I would choose to do that, I would feel kind of like a judgment because TV is something that you do not like. And it was hard for you to have this around. So I could feel your judgment before. And now since getting pregnant, I feel like you are more understanding. There is more understanding from your end. And I think that made our relationship better. And on my end, like on my perspective, of course.
Because you got to watch more TV.
No, because I don't feel so judged. And I feel not better, but like I don't feel like the heaviness of the judgment as I used to feel before. And yeah, and I think in general, I think we have been communicating better. We have been more understanding with each other. And I just feel more, I don't know if it's excited, but a little bit more like happier that you are feeling more motivated and excited and have more drive that I think you lost this a little bit in your process in the past 2-3 years. So
yeah, I mean, listen, if we're going like spiritual mode on this, which I don't know if that's appropriate, but just like the journey, it was like 2 to 3 years of this like, I don't know what I'm doing, lack of purpose, lack of drive, and not being able to make sense of it. And then this kid comes into our life at the same time, it was like right even before that, things were starting to change.
Yeah.
And like that kind of ignited a new conversation about what's possible with maybe having a kid and then the kid. And I think,
Yeah. What came first? Like, I don't really know.
it was
I think
definitely, September was Dispenza.
that's true.
And that was like a big breakthrough moment for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, shout out to Dr. Joe and his work. I think it's incredible. And we were at the advanced retreat.
Yep.
Or no, the advanced follow-up.
Yeah. The second retreat.
5-day or 4-day or something. So I had a bit of a what I guess I would call like a breakthrough at that time, but that released a lot of what was in my body that energetically was holding me back, I think, from just trusting a lot of life. So there was that, and that was September, and then we got pregnant in October.
Yep.
So I think a lot of that was there at the same time. I don't know. I think I was getting excited about maybe even before the thought of the kid, just the next chapter of life, whatever that might mean. So I think all those things kind of play a role. But I definitely, going back to what you were saying about just like the judgment piece and the compassion piece, I think there's a thing that happens for dudes. And I've heard this, but now I'm experiencing it. When you watch your partner start making a human, you just realize how like incompetent you are comparatively to like the magic of a female. It's like nothing. It's so cool because there's shit that you do that you become good at, like marketing, or you become good at speaking, or you become good at whatever you got good at. And that was something you trained yourself in and you got better in. There was no training. There was no doing it better or worse. Like, this is just you being a human. And that to me is like, you're just you're a little miracle. That's what you are. You're just a miracle worker machine that I could never be, even if I tried. And I don't know if that's it, but it just sent me to the moon of like, whoa, compassion, next level, awe, next level, inspiration, next level. So I think, and yeah, then it was like, there's certain things that you're going to rest and you're going to chill and you're going to do whatever, but you're making a human. So it makes sense. Not every day does it make sense to watch 16 episodes of Suits, but when you do, and you need to recover, then it makes more sense. So it's easier to have compassion and understanding in that process then, I think. But it definitely is. I mean, it's ignited like a growth journey already for me. And it hasn't made everything rainbows and butterflies, that's for sure.
And do you feel like that there's any part of our relationship that got like trembled or like worse or?
Well, I think that there's a sensitivity that has kicked in for you. Hormones, maybe, body changing, maybe, like less work. You've very much identified as a masculine figure with work. Like, you're a very feminine woman, but you have incredible masculine tendencies. Like, I need to build, I need to do, I need to go. And your worth is often very predicated on accomplishment. So like that feminine kicked in and that masculine has slowed down a little bit. That's been actually really enjoyable for me because it feels good as a man to have your partner step into her feminine presence. Like, there's something really beautiful about that. And it gave me permission, or like, I don't know, it activated like, well, she's going to step more into the feminine. You get to step more into the masculine. And I think that's, if I'm looking at the deep of it, that actually might be part of the challenge that I've faced in our relationship as a whole. Is like, even though I've advocated for it a ton, because it's not about me getting my needs met from you per se, but I think you've made a lot of decisions in that masculine mindset of like, I'm going to start my business. I'm going to take over the world with theta breathwork. I'm going to blah, 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 blah. All these things, which took a lot of masculine force. I'm also building a business. I'm creating the two entrepreneurs in their masculine, driving. And I think you've always done an amazing job of like kind of turning that off and stepping into like your feminine. And we wouldn't be together if you didn't do that, because I really need that. But I think it's just gone to a new level. So part of my challenge is seeing you at times as like another entrepreneur and another hustler. That's great for our partnership. That's great for our friendship. That's great for like talking about shit we like to talk about, business growth and entrepreneurship and what we're creating and visions for our life.
But you miss that?
No, what I'm saying is that I think that probably played a role in the challenge that I had
before.
You know, like I have been working a lot on egoic stuff, and my ego has played a big role in like, you're not good enough, you're not doing enough, whatever. And as there are days when your business is succeeding and doing things, and then I'm judging myself based off of so it's like me looking at a friend, like some dude's business and being like, mine is not as good as yours, not as successful. And you started later than me, and I guided you through the beginning of the process, but then at times you're guiding me. I love all those things, but my ego doesn't at times, right? So I think that played a role in some of it. And now, as you have taken a step back and settled, there's been this like, she steps more into her feminine. I get to awaken more of my masculine. I've been very in my feminine work the last 3 years. What are you feeling? What's going on in your heart? What are your thoughts? Very soft with myself. I'm kind of over it. I'm very over it. Like I'm ready to fucking be that dog again. And that's like, I want, now I have the dynamics of both. I think I can access both. I think it's one of my better qualities.
So what I'm hearing is that you don't feel like there is any part of our relationship that got worse, or
no, I think it's evolved
in a good way, in a positive way.
Yeah, I think that we drive each other a little crazy sometimes,
but that's always been there.
Been the case the whole time. Yeah, man, your like caretaker instinct has gone up significantly. I don't think you think that.
I don't think that.
It's so crazy. Dudes, watch out for this. See if it happens. Maybe it's not everybody. I definitely have heard of women who are like entrepreneurs doing their thing and they like get pregnant and they like go beast mode even more.
That's what I thought it would happen to me.
Honestly, I just can't even imagine it. Like, I don't know how that's even possible watching you get pregnant. Everybody's different, of course. Like, you've got to sink into your feminine more. Like, you've got to slow down. You've got to, I don't know, maybe not. But you definitely went that route. And it's to me, it's fascinating watching the balance of it all. You just went into like mega caretaker mode. Like things that you would never normally do. It would be the special occasion. You just like, I mean, definitely when I got sick, you always take care of me when I'm sick, but like on a whole new level when I got sick, there was just like, I watched her. I'm like, dude, this is the mom.
I thought I have always been like that with you.
It was next level. It was amazing. It was amazing. And the way you make popcorn now is better than before you got pregnant.
Has always been a great popcorn.
It's always been good. This is some next level popcorn.
I should open a popcorn business.
For sure.
Would you buy from me?
She makes popcorn. Oh my God. It actually turns me on. Turn me on popcorn. So you're having
popcorn tonight.
Turn me on popcorn.
Turn me on popcorn.
Or
I love
Netflix and chill popcorn.
Wait, it was your idea.
Nobody use it.
Let's register here. If you use Turn On Popcorn as a name, you must give us a percentage.
Turn me on popcorn.
Great. That was great. I love this
Turn
conversation.
Me on popcorn?
No, the conversation we had.
Oh. Yeah. She's done. I love it. She's done. There's still some masculine in there. Don't you worry. She's in charge.
Well, the excuse is that I'm pregnant, so I've been using that excuse a lot. Okay. Especially when I leave places and I'm like, okay, my time's done.
Yeah, she does that quite a lot. Okay, fine. So last piece of this. If there's something that you, like, is there something you want more integrated into the relationship, or something you want, is there something you're hoping for as we go further into pregnancy? From the two of us.
From the two of us. Um, I don't think so. I think that there are parts of when we are getting to like a month before, like kind of like time to birth this baby. I think I would appreciate more your help into getting things ready. I think right now we are both super chill into that because we don't have a baby yet and, haven't had a baby shower or any of this. But I think when it's a month before, I think I would love to have this journey together to, you know, do everything for the baby together, have things in places because we will have a surprise. Like we don't know when the baby's going to be born. Hopefully, it's not going to be a C-section, and we're going to do a natural birth, and it's going to come when it's going to come. And I want to have things ready and prepared for it. So I think that's something that I think it's important for mom and dad do it together. And I think a lot of women navigated doing this by themselves because they feel the responsibility because they are birthing, they have to do these things. And I don't think like that. I think it's both of us responsibility. So that's the only thing I feel.
I am noticing that like you're wanting more of like preparation and feeling safe and feeling like it's okay to like I can relax.
Yeah.
And a lot of that you're relying on me to kind of show up for that. I'm definitely noticing that.
Yeah.
Boys, you better show up for that woman because she needs that safety. We'll let that woman flowy thing happen. And I'm going to be out here controlling logistics. Be a logistics machine. Honey, I love you so much.
I love you more.
Let's
to
do
the
this
moon
again.
and back.
Let's do it. Let's do it again soon.
Let's do it.
Ciao, y'all.
Yo.
I'm from Texas now.
I'm in Texas now.
Ciao, y'all.
Ciao, y'all.
Ciao.